Welcome to The Endless Party. I'm one of the hosts, Elijah Armstrong.
And I'm your other host, Meg Armstrong.
Our podcast is dedicated to making life a party by striving to be better people, living by good values and strong principles.
So let's jump in. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Endless Party. We're here with you tonight, and we're really excited.
Or today, depending on when you're listening.
We're really excited to get to share a small portion of your day with you. And I hope we can just own up to what we're supposed to be and give you some good podcasting time.
Wow.
Okay, so apart from my rockin' intro, let's set that aside. Let's move on. Today, I think we have such a great message to share with you today.
We do.
It's all about something that I think our society is obsessed over, and that is happiness.
What is it?
What is it?
How to obtain it.
And how do we maintain it?
Maintain it.
Well, no, attain and maintain.
Both.
Both. How do we do it? So the other day I was cleaning the house and I was making our bed, and it was actually during a time when I was caretaking. I was a caretaker for an older woman. And anyways, I had a lot to do in my day because of this responsibility. So I was managing the twins while caring for this specific person. And regardless of how hard and how demanding the schedule was, I was pretty happy. And I was making our bed, trying to get everything cleaned up and done by the time the twins were done napping. And it kind of hit me in that moment where I had been on social media and I had seen people on all of these vacations and in all these beautiful homes and have all the nicest of things and showing this lifestyle where they had so much money. And it kind of hit me where I was like, oh my gosh, if I was granted $5 million today, I don't think I would be any happier than I am in this moment. I really don't. And I really think there were some things. I think, of course, there would be some things within that lifestyle that would make me happy. Mm-hmm. But in terms of my general, sense of happiness, I don't think it would be elevated that much. In contrast, I was thinking about the people who, I have lots of friends who, we're all just starting out. I'm 23, whatever. We're all getting married. And a lot of them are just obsessed with money and how they want to make more and how when they have this much money, they'll be happy, and when they have that much money, they'll be happy. And this isn't just true of people my age. This is true of everybody. Mm-hmm. And it also hit me if these people were granted $5 million, I still don't think they would be happy.
Right.
And so happiness is something that I think is really hard to define very narrowly. And I don't think there's just one thing that creates happiness and brings us happiness. And that's where we get to learn from the great David O. McKay. So as I'm on this journey of happiness in a time of my life where it was really hard for me to be happy, I happened to pull down this book from our bookshelf. How often does this happen?
Pretty often.
Where we're struggling with something and wanting to know more, and I know it's God. I literally just pick a book off the shelf and I'm this is exactly what I need to be reading at this time. It's so good. I've recommended it now to everybody I know. Anyways, it's David O. McKay's Secrets of Happiness. Secrets of a Happy Life. That was not what it was called at all.
The Secrets to a Happy Life.
It's David O. McKay's The Secrets to a Happy Life. And there's a whole book that just talks about happiness and how you can attain it, maintain it. But he gives this wonderful synopsis in his conclusion, and he gives 10 principles or 10 sources of happiness. Mm-hmm. And those are what we're going to share with you today.
Yeah. Yes, we are. So to dive right in, number 1 is a sense of being free. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory here. And the reason that I'm going to do that is because I think it's very relatable to a lot of us. So there's a quote, and it's, "A bird in a cage may be safe, but it'll never know the joy of flying." And I think so many of us are living other people's dreams, whether it's an employer, whether it's a parent, whether it's a sibling, whether it's a friend. Like, people are keeping you in a certain situation or in a certain environment because, quite frankly, you're helping them live their dream. My father, bless that man's heart, he has this dream. So growing up, his dad owned a lot of property because he was a farmer, and his father's father was a farmer. Excuse me.
He was a father and a farmer.
His grandfather was a farmer, passed it down to his son, who was my grandfather, who was my dad's father, and he was also a farmer. They owned a lot of property. So, up on the hill in good old Pocatello, Idaho, they still have quite a bit of property, and his dream is to have all of his kids up on this hill building homes next to him. And when we moved to Pocatello originally, I was like, you know what? That's not really my dream. Like, I don't want a house next to all my siblings or here. Like, I want it somewhere else. I want multiple homes. It just wasn't my ideal situation. And so we were there for a couple years. And we left for a plethora of reasons. But the biggest reason is because we were not truly free.
That was our number one reason.
That was our number one reason. And since we've moved, we have a sense of being free. We make all of our own decisions. We make all of our own choices. There's nothing and no one telling us how or what to do or what to be.
Or how to spend our time,
or our money, or anything.
Our days,
Yeah, and so it is a sense of freedom. And that is the number one, I believe that David O. McKay hits it right on the head, secret to a happy life is the sense of being free. And what we realized, and it was more so me than Meg. Meg had always realized this because, quite frankly, she's a very, very prestigious student.
Oh, well, thank you.
And I was the opposite. Anyways, so what I realized is that in order for my dream to live, somebody's had to die. And in my case, it was my dad's. So in order for my dream to come into fruition and to become a reality, my dad's dream had to die. And I think that's true of so many people out there. And so not only will I encourage you to be happy by taking this step, like take the step of killing somebody else's dreams so that yours may live, but also this is the only way to have the success that you want in life.
Yes, and it takes courage to free yourself from the expectations of other people and to branch out and discover who you are and what you really want. And you will disappoint people.
You're going to disappoint a lot of people.
Bottom line is people are going to be mad.
Yeah.
And they're going to be sad, and you're not going to meet their expectations.
Well, and to take it even a step further than that, you yourself will have to, you'll have to lose yourself in order to find yourself.
Yeah.
Like, in a very real sense, leaving that environment made me have to figure out who I was. Because I was so comfortable and I was so content and I was so beaten that I didn't actually know who I truly was. And so it takes courage to actually leave that and recognize, okay, now it's all on me. What am I going to do now?
I will say this too. We made the jump. We lost relationships. But and that part is sad and it does hurt.
Of course.
But we have zero regrets. There's not a day that has gone by since leaving that I'm like, wow, I regret everything. I'm like,
100%.
Nope, I should have done this sooner. That was fantastic for our family.
Rock bottom isn't that bad.
It's not that bad.
J.K. Rowling even said, she's like, once I hit rock bottom, it was the perfect place to build my foundation. And she's right.
I agree. Something when I was thinking about a sense of being free, it kind of turned my mind to thinking the lengths that people go and the wars that were fought for freedom, all fought in the name of freedom. This wonderful land was fought for freedom. And I also think the Civil War, again, another battle that was fought to help people be free.
Be free, yeah.
One of the most inspiring stories I know. This is the greatest lengths well, not the greatest. This is one of the greatest lengths I've heard of somebody going to get freedom. His name was Henry, and it's a little story at my mom's house. It's a little picture book. It's called Henry's Freedom Box. And
Oh, yeah.
he was a slave in the South. He put himself into a crate and mailed himself to the North to be free. So he was in this horribly hunched position for 48 hours.
In a box.
In a box. He mailed himself to freedom.
Because freedom matters.
Yes, the risk of leaving and getting caught and potentially dying because he's in a box,
Yeah.
like, was worth for it. It was worth it for him to take those steps, all in the name of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So fight for your freedom.
Yeah.
It 100% brings happiness.
You might not be a slave, but in a very real sense, you are.
Don't be a slave
If
to
you're
anyone.
not living your ideal life or your dreams or anything, like, fight for that freedom.
Free agency and the gift of choice, what David O. McKay says, is the greatest gift to mankind.
That's what God gave us. He doesn't even take that
He
away.
doesn't even take it. So don't you dare. No, 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 no. Do not let anybody take that away from you.
100%.
And don't give it up.
Yeah.
Okay. What's number 2?
A sense of self-mastery. So what does this mean? No man is truly free that is not master of himself. Socrates or one of those guys. But it's true.
It is true.
One of my favorite quotes is, discipline is choosing between what you want now and in what you want most. And that could not be more accurate. Like, if you do not have the self-control, whether it be a minor addiction or a major addiction, you're not truly free because you are blinded by addiction.
Yes.
And it might just be as simple as scrolling on your phone.
Get off your phones,
They're
peeps.
real, bro.
Watch our stuff, okay? Because it's good.
Listen.
You can scroll. I dare you to scroll our content. Spend 5 minutes of your scrolling time scrolling through ours. Tell me how you feel, because I'm curious. Just saying. Anyways.
Yeah, true.
I wanted to say something by David O. McKay that goes exactly with what you were saying. He says, he is a slave who will be led by his appetites.
Well, it's actually kind of funny because the number one is a sense of freedom, right? And that's what he talks about. And that's more so about other people restricting you.
Number 2.
Number 2 is about you restricting yourself. And it comes back to a sense of freedom. Like, you have to be truly free from appetites, from addictions, from problems in order to be truly free.
Here's a fantastic example. All I've wanted tonight is Taco Bell. I was so close to packing up and buying Taco Bell. But instead I'm here filming this podcast. Why?
Self-discipline.
Self-discipline,
Self-mastery.
self-mastery. This is what really matters. Taco Bell will always be there.
It will. So choose the harder right instead of the easier wrong. Because your life will be easier for it.
Yep.
It's true.
That was number 2.
Number 3, the privilege of work.
I love how this one is phrased.
The privilege of work. There's actually this story, and it's this father. He comes home from work, and it goes late into the evening, and his son is like really, really sad because his dad has to go to work the next morning. He's like, "Dad, I'm so sad. Like, I'm gonna miss you tomorrow. Like, you have to go to work." And the son goes, "Oh," or the dad takes the son and he goes, "Oh, no. I get to go to work." Because to this dad, it was a privilege, right? And work really should be that. And I'm not just saying in terms of like a paycheck type work, the work that you go to your job, but any type of work is very fulfilling. You know, when you get done with a pile of dishes and
Feels good.
it's good. When you mow the lawn and you put in a good honest day's work, it's fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
It's beneficial, and it is a privilege at the end of the day.
As a mom, full-time mom, stay-at-home mother, wife, that's my job title right now, and I love it. I really do. Like, there is no other job I would rather have than what I get to spend my days doing right now.
Yeah.
But I will say sometimes not all of the job is glamorous, and there's some moments where, there might be something else I'd maybe want to be doing. And that's when I put this phrase back into my mind and I say, no, like, my work's a privilege. And it's a privilege and a blessing to be the mom of B and Winnie and to be your wife and to get to be here and to be home and to get to have my influence in our house every day. And it changes everything as soon as I start to think about what I'm doing as a privilege instead of just
I agree.
the work.
I think too, like, when it comes to just work, I mean, so many people talk about this principle, especially all the major self-help authors. The richest man in Babylon, I can't remember the name of the author, but one of the principles, he gives 5 principles, and one of the principles is make work your best friend or make it your greatest ally or something. And it's true. Like, if you want more success in this life, like, make work your greatest ally, make it your greatest friend. And it's amazing what starts to transpire. It's true of all the greatest athletes in the world too. Michael Jordan has a quote about missing 1,000 shots or something. I can't even remember exactly, but basically he says, like, he was a failure and that is why he's a champion. Because he just constantly worked and worked and worked. And overall, that led to his success, but also led to his happiness.
I agree.
Yeah. Number 4.
The possession of health.
Yes, the possession of health.
To all of you out there who have never lost your health, I don't recommend it.
No, it's horrible. We both have, and it's very
We
real
both have.
sense.
I'm not talking about like a cold or the flu or strep or...
No, I'm talking about debilitating illnesses.
I'm talking about blood pressure at 185 over 105.
Yeah. Or losing 25 pounds. When you're already a tiny distance runner.
We're talking about serious loss of health.
Yeah, and it's a big deal. There's a quote, and it goes something along the lines of, every millionaire wants a million different things, but a sick person only wants one thing. And it's true. Like, you cannot buy good health. It's something that you have to work for. And sometimes it's, even when you work for it, you don't necessarily have it. And so just be very, very grateful for what you do have. There's also a story it's an old, I don't even know, an old story. And it reads, I was sobbing one day because I had no shoes until one day I met a man with no feet. And so be grateful for what you do have. Be grateful for, 2 eyes that work, 2 ears that hear, a tongue that tastes, feet in general, because some people aren't so lucky.
And we really are walking miracles.
We are. It's incredible. Like, my good old wife here, she gave birth to identical twin girls, B and Winnie. They are the epitome of good health.
They are.
But they almost killed Meg in the process of getting here.
Yes.
And that's when she lost all of her health because she was preeclamptic, emergency
I was
C-section.
sick,
a lot of
guys.
things happened, right? And it's incredible that both Meg and those little girls are here.
It's a miracle.
Like, I could have been is it a widower?
Yes, a widower.
A widower.
At 27.
At 27.
Lost all three
And
of
lost
us.
all
Really,
three of
if
them.
it weren't for modern medicine,
Modern medication,
we would have all been goners.
Yeah.
I wanted to say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like once you lose your health, after losing my health, so I got really sick. It was just because of pregnancy. It wasn't because of any lifestyle or any choice I made. And truly losing my health has now made me so grateful every day to be healthy. And it's something I pray and thank God for often. I'm so thankful to be healthy. I'm so thankful to not be sick because it really does make a difference.
It's a blessing.
It is debilitating to be sick. David O. McKay just simply says, clean and wholesome bodies bring joy.
They do.
And they do.
Yeah.
Take care of yours. It's a gift.
I can attest to that.
Elijah attests.
Also, personal hygiene, people. Okay? Take care of your bodies.
Stay clean.
Don't be stinky kid.
We should add on this podcast, like, Elijah's stamp of approval.
Okay.
Elijah stamps it. Take care of your body. Elijah approved.
Elijah approved.
Dink. Okay. Now we're on number 5.
The ability to see God's beauty around us.
I love this one.
So we live in Utah currently, and Utah is well known for many things, 2 of which are mountains and skiing. And the mountain range here is unreal.
It is so glorious.
We walk outside and it is
Every day.
like it is breathtakingly beautiful.
Every single day.
Yes. And so, I mean, that's just not true of here. I've traveled all over the
There's
nation,
beautiful mountains in
traveled all
America.
over the world. Every place that I have ever been to has beauty within it. But you just have to pay attention. Again, it comes back to just like look up from your phone, man. Like pay attention to what's going on around you instead of like the reels and TikToks and Instagrams that are going through of like, oh my gosh, look at this beautiful hike that I'm on.
Just
How about
go
you just go
outside and
take the hike? Literally.
Jinx.
Like, come on.
Elijah stamp. Okay, so
For sure,
one
dog.
day I was walking. Nope. Nay, I was running. I was running. I was on this run, and the sun was setting, and I was with the babies, and it was this perfect point where the mountains were white, and so the reflection of the sunset on the mountains turned these mountains into these breathtakingly pink, glowing, it was glorious. It was one of the glorious sights I've seen. And what was so cool is I think there were 5 or 6 people who stopped along the trail. They didn't even have
To
their
just
phones out. They were just watching because it was so breathtaking. There's moments like this in nature all the time.
Yeah.
Another story. I was at the park with Bea and Winnie, and I was just so happy to be outside, be in nature, be with my girls. I just started crying. Because I was so
She's
happy.
rather emotional.
And the reason was is because I took a moment to be thankful for the beauty that was around me. And beauty can come in the form of people and relationships. It's not just nature, but nature is a super quick way, I think, to ground yourself. I don't remember what we were listening to, but somehow it came up that there was this man, and every time he saw a mountain, he just believed it was perfect proof that God exists because of the grandeur of it. And so in my own life, every day when I step outside and see those mountains that are so sure and tall and grand, I'm like, God lives, and I know it because of these mountains. And
Like,
it makes me happy.
It makes sense. Life elevated. That's Utah.
That's Utah.
That's Utah. And we're actually grateful for it. Honestly, like it does hit you. And it's not it's not something you get used to. You walk out and you're like, whoa.
They're still
these are
beautiful.
mountains. Like
They're gorgeous.
Yeah.
Especially, we're probably like 2 miles from the mountain.
yeah.
Like we ran to the mountain Saturday. And it was amazing.
So make sure to see God's beauty around you. Yeah.
Yep.
The harboring
Number 6.
of upbuilding thoughts.
Upbuilding.
What
not
does that
uplifting.
mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm asking you.
Oh, you're asking me. Okay, well, I'm actually going to share a quote. Fundamental in all of Jesus' teachings was the crime of wrong thinking. He condemned avarice, enmity, and jealousy in the mind as this. David O. McKay has an extensive vocabulary. Let
Yeah,
me
he
say
does.
this. Okay, he condemned avarice, enmity, and jealousy in the mind as vehemently as he did the results of avarice, enmity, and jealousy produce. Modern psychology confirms his teachings regarding the injury that follows the harboring of hate. He who harbors hatred and bitterness injures himself far more than the one toward whom he manifests these evil propensities. Basically,
If you put that in layman's
yes,
terms?
I'll tell you
How?
what that was my David. Okay, basically, if you hate somebody, you are doing yourself more a disservice than the person you hate. Because hate and bitterness are so toxic in our minds. And Jesus taught us that the person who thinks hate is worse than the person who committed the
crime.
the fault that made you hate them. So it's all on you. So don't hate, just love.
Love.
And think uplifting things.
Yes. I think there's so much to be said about this. Like, you become your thoughts. James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. If you haven't read it. It's a good read. But he compares our mind to gardens. And he's like, if you plant weeds, like, that's what your garden's going to be. But if you plant, carrots, it's going to be a nice garden.
Nice carrot garden.
Yeah, so plant up building thoughts. Thoughts that really do that build you up, that help you to push forward, that thoughts of success, thoughts of happiness, thoughts of prosperity. Okay? Okay.
I actually take time now to just see where my thoughts wander during the day as I'm cleaning or have a spare moment to myself. And initially, I was super embarrassed because I was like, this isn't good. I don't think very nice things all the time. So I've tried to switch it. It's hard, but at least I'm aware.
It is mentally
rigorous.
It's true. It is. It's
to
really hard.
transform the habit
and then
of
it gets
negativity
easier. It's
into
kind of like running,
positivity.
bro.
Same thing.
Yeah. Number 7.
7.
Being true to those who trust you.
Hold
Keep
your
your promise.
Hold your commitments.
Yes. Keep your promises, especially the ones that you make to yourself, to your loved ones, to those you care about.
Be that person.
Yes. Be true to your word, because soon enough, if you're not, if your word's no good, you're no good.
You don't want to be no good.
You don't want to be no good. You want to be really good. Okay? So be true to those who trust you. I genuinely, as a dad, any promise that I make to my little girls, I want to hold true to that promise, because if I break it, oh my gosh.
It would shatter them.
It would shatter me.
I know.
Like, if I promise to be at something and then I don't show.
I was like, hey, I promise I'll take you to the park today, and I just don't.
Like, hold true to your promises. Like, seriously. Like, it'll make your entire life happier.
And you should pretend that every person that you're, like, making commitment to is your little tiny 3-year-old daughter who
you should.
you want to give the world to.
Yeah, absolutely you should.
Bless you, Lige.
Excuse me. That's a cough.
Lige, what's number 8?
Making friends.
True friends enrich life. If you would have friends, be one. That's David O. McKay.
Yes. What is it? A good friend, or no? A good friend knows all your crazy stories. A best friend was there for all of them.
Elijah told me that the other night. I was like, oh my gosh.
Such
It's
a
starting
banger.
to get to the point where I just think I've been there Elijah's entire life because of the story,
Yeah.
And so, anyways, he'll share a story. And I'm like, oh, I was for sure there.
Yeah, I was
I
there.
remember being there. Like, I was there. I wasn't. I
No,
was like
5 years old
I
and
was
Meg
like-
wasn't even born yet.
I wasn't even there.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's kind of actually a little nerve-wracking to make new friends. The other day, I felt like I should go deliver a loaf of bread I baked to some new friends up the street.
Neighbor.
And I was running up to their house, and I was like, why am I, like, nervous? And I think it's a risk to make new friends and
Put yourself out there.
put yourself out there. But I did. It was a great conversation, and I'm glad I did it.
If you want a friend, be a friend.
You gotta be a friend.
You need to. At the end of the day, like, that's the best way to have friends, is to be a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Be friendly. Be nice. Ah, I love friends. Number 9, doing your best this hour, and you will do better the next. In essence, give your best always.
Always give your best.
Give your best always. What percentage is always?
100.
100% of the time. Okay? It doesn't mean do your best, 80% of the time. Do your best some of the time. No, it's always.
It is always.
Yeah. So if you take a step back and really look at a time where you didn't give your best, it is a horrible feeling.
You feel super dumb.
You feel terrible because you're like, wow,
Oh,
like, did I
dang it.
really not put in my best effort? Why? And for what? Like, what good did it, like, benefit your life? Nothing.
One of the things Elijah and I always talk about, there have been races that we didn't win, but our time was incredible and we gave our best effort. Those feel better than the races we won but didn't give our best.
Yes.
100%. I had this fourth place finish. That was the most legendary thing I've ever done. I was literally in fourth
Yeah, same.
place.
Third place, boom. absolutely incredible.
I was literally in 4th place. I didn't even win. But I was like, wow, that was stellar. And then I've had wins that I was like, eh.
Because you gave your best.
I gave my
At the end of
best.
the day. So give your best, especially right now, and especially
right
later,
now.
and especially
Especially later.
all the days.
All the days, give your best.
All the days.
All the days, give
the
your
best
best.
in your work,
Give
your
your best all the
relationships,
days.
your families, everything.
Do it. You'll feel better.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Okay,
Number
let's do the last one.
10.
Number 10 is developing faith.
I love faith.
Now, if you're new to this podcast, we are avid believers in Jesus Christ and God.
Faith, faith, faith.
Yep. But more than just like having faith in God, but have faith in everything that's worth having faith in. Yourself.
In your family.
Well, yeah, there's a million different things. Like I have faith in Meg and our marriage. I have faith in our family, our little tiny little babies. I have faith in them being successful. I have faith in myself. I have faith in my dreams. I have faith in God. I have faith in a million different things.
Faith is 100% the pillars that guides mine and Elijah's life.
100%.
And it's a pillar of the Armstrong family. So if you
Yes.
come into our home,
Faith.
be prepared to feel a little bit of faith.
Yeah. Like that's literally our entire life is based on faith.
David O. McKay says that faith is the foundation of all things, and especially happiness.
Yeah.
The days where I am full of faith and believe in God and his wonders and the miracles he's going to put in my life are some of the happiest days of my life.
100%.
And in contrast, the days that I'm full of doubt and fear and don't believe in those things, it's miserable. I am so miserable.
Yeah, 2 Corinthians 5 verse 7 is, for we walk by faith, not by sight. And it's true. Like at the end of the day, there's a million different things that I have thought that I've wanted in my life. And because I had faith, I have obtained them. And it was by walking by faith, not by sight, that allowed me to obtain them. That's why I'm married to Meg. That's why we have a beautiful family. That's why there's so many things in my life. And it's by faith and faith alone that got me there.
One of my favorite authors is Norman Vincent Peale. He is huge on faith, and he's actually someone who's helped me to transform mine into something that's a real living thing. Not just like, oh, I have faith. It's like, no.
Yeah. It's not just a religious thing
No,
anymore.
faith
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle, and it's a living thing in my life. And he says there's the two of the strongest emotions and feelings in this life are faith and doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But congrats, because faith is always stronger than doubt. You can always overcome your doubts with faith. Always. Doubt will never win if you choose to implement faith.
Yep.
If ye have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, nothing shall be impossible unto you. So have faith. It's so worth it, and it does make your life happier.
It's necessary.
It's essential to happiness for sure.
So let's quickly go over the 10
Let's
of
do
them
it.
real quick. So let me go back.
Number 1.
Number 1, a sense of being free. Number 2, a sense of self-mastery. Number 3, the privilege of work. Number 4, the possession of health. Number 5, the ability to see God's beauty around us. Number 6, the harboring of upbuilding thoughts. Number 7, being true to those who trust you. Number 8, making friends. Number 9, doing your best this hour. And you will do better the next. And number 10, developing faith. So we hope and pray that all of you start to implement these things, because truly they are the secrets of happiness. And here's the inside scoop. They're not really a secret.
It's not all that secret.
Just start living by them and you'll see for yourself.
I can 100% guarantee it. You will be happier.
100%.
Even if you just pick one.
Yes. And until next time, friends, like, subscribe, leave comments below. Tell us how you're implementing these things.
Yes, and how you plan on doing it.
100%.
All right.
Okay, we love you.
Peace.
Peace.